So how to implement AI looks completely different from how to implement SAP. Because first you start with sensitize, so that you get an idea, oh, there's something new. So what can I do with it? And get motivated to try things out, to experiment, probably to do hackathons or AI battles, who comes up with the best idea and the best results, or do expert workshops to get some in-depth knowledge. You start to experiment, and probably in a bit more structured way. That you have like some sort of an AI innovation management or like an AI lab, so where you can exchange your experiences, where you can collect the best use cases, where you get certain coachings, where you do the benefit analysis, so you have a basis to then, when you think about scaling, to then develop a strategy, to think of business models, to think of skills, governance, and all that. And that's what I mean with the AI mindset and the difference compared to SAP. So talking about the mindset, so stability. Yes, stability is important, but at the same time, when you start to experiment and you quickly want to decide which parts you want to scale, you need a certain agility, a certain adaptability. Instead of focusing on your individual team or department, make sure that you increase the ability to work together. That's so important. That's the biggest potential all large organizations have, is a better collaboration between the different teams and departments. So once you have a better alignment, it's from process management to innovation culture and customer focus. And I'm not saying process management is not important. I'm just saying it's not enough. So don't get me wrong on that one. And Amazon has a great way. I'm working with them. They're one of my customers. And they have a great way of thinking. It's called working backwards. You might have heard of it. It always starts with, what's the customer or the employee goal, right? Where do they want to go? And you work your way backwards, whether it's you're drafting a press release or you better understand what benefit would the product, the solution I have in mind, bring to them. And then you develop the use cases, and then you identify the features, and then you ensure that during the development phase, you have number one as priority. Stress actually leads not only to destroyed computers and calls at the help desk, but they actually lead to poor decision making. Whether it's you around an architecture or management decisions, the daily decisions, because stress does something to us that's not good. That's not good for decisions. So many people talk about work-life balance and things like that. Yes, that's right. But on the other hand, if you're taking bad decisions, that doesn't really help either. So when you're under stress, you focus on immediate issues, you're overlooking long-term consequences. You have an emotional bias. Your decisions actually are driven sort of by fear, by frustration, something that doesn't really help, because if you want to take decisions, you need to have a certain logic, right? So as a conclusion, when you hear AI, think of a new mindset. Think of a better focus on customers, or in your case, most likely employees. Maybe you want to try out CPIs, at least make sure you always understand what the customer wants in the end and start there. Stress impacts decisions. When you want to take important decisions, make sure, you listen to music for a moment, you're in a calm state, and start to work backwards, defining the goals first. Thank you so much. Let's talk. If you're interested in some more information, I can recommend a white paper about Copilot and AI and some management tips. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for this inspiring keynote. I think we have a little bit of time for some questions. If you have any, just raise your hand.